Hey everyone, today let's talk about the three most common financial mistakes that people make when they're starting or setting up their medical practice. My name is Brad. I start and scale medical practices. I own a multi-million dollar practice here in Texas. Let's get into it. All right. First off, number one is just not knowing your numbers. I mean, it's just basic math, but you don't need this insane business plan. A lot of you guys like nerd out when y'all reach out to me for consulting that I need this like 50-page like business plan. No, you don't. Okay, maybe go a little bit more than just like back of the napkin math. We'll call that a pro forma, but create an Excel spreadsheet on how many patients do you need to see to meet your overhead. A lot of things that people forget, they forget to include ancillary staff. They forget to include paid time off. They forget to include FICA, taxes. All those things need to be paid and they need to be part of your financial contribution. So many people underestimate their monthly overhead. How much is your EMR going to cost? How much is a medical assistant going to cost? Okay, now you got to factor in PTO on top of that. Are you going to do any benefits? Are you going to do anything beyond that, like a 401k, healthcare plan? Also, if you're hiring a PA or another physician and you don't include PTO in there and time off, you're going to get hosed. That's going to come back to bite you. So many times I look at projections and you're just projecting, okay, I'm going to have this in rent. And then that's basically all my overhead. That's all it's going to be. No, what about your medical assistant? What about your front desk? What about your malpractice? You're going to need a whole list of items that are coming out every single month. And it's always going to be way more complex than you think. Something's going to break and you're going to have to fix something. I like to account for about a 30 to 40% overage on whatever my estimates are. I add on 1.3. I multiply it by 1.3 to get to my estimated, this is what I need to most likely have set aside. Also, when you're starting up, you need at least 6 months of runway. If you don't have the 6 months of runway either set aside, then you need to be doing what I did in the very beginning. You need locums. You need to cash flow that profitability somehow. Because otherwise, there's nothing worse than laying up at night being like, man, I need to make X amount of dollars to hit payroll next week. Horrible situation to be in. All right. The second mistake is just overestimating revenue early on. So many of y'all that I've consulted with, when you do show me your business plan, okay, I'm going to make $190 per visit. Are you? I doubt it, especially if you're primary care, urgent care, you're not going to make that much. The other thing is that you're estimating a lot of times that you're collecting 100% of those dollars. In the very beginning, you're not going to be as efficient. You're going to probably collect 90% of every dollar that's owed to you until your standard operating procedures get great enough to really ramp that up. The other thing is it lags in terms of getting paid. So our payment velocity, time from seeing a patient to paycheck hits our account, for all commercial insurance is about 21 days. However, a lot of that can be very skewed because if the doc's not submitting their bills on time, yeah, that delays it for 21 days till you submit the bill. And then also, if the insurance company gets a denial for whatever reason, let's say, for example, your front desk doesn't take the right subscriber information. You take Mr. Jones, but Mr. Jones is under his wife's insurance. You didn't get or you didn't tell your front desk that you need the wife's insurance name and date of birth for the subscriber info. Well, now when you submit to insurance companies, guess what? Timely filing, they have 3 months for most states before they have to tell you that they're not paying you. And then now, depending on your state, most states, they have another 3 months before when they have to pay you from the corrected claim. So instead of getting paid in 21 days, that simple mistake of not collecting the subscriber info, you got paid 6 months later by the insurance company, potentially. So what does that do? That really screws up your inflow of cash. A lot of times you're thinking, okay, 3 months in, I saw this many patients. We should be making X amount of dollars. Where's the money? Yeah, where is the money? They're not either collecting it up front. They're not collecting the subscriber info. Maybe they're not having a clean claim. That's why I decided to get an EMR that does real-time eligibility. My staff can click a button and can tell within a matter of seconds, I think 5 to 6 seconds on average, are we in network? Is all the information good? Subscriber information, that good? Do we need it? Is it active? How much is it going to be for the copay? Love it. That's what I need. Last thing you want to do is be going to Availity, a website where you can check all this information, or calling the insurance company to know this information. Horrible idea. It's going to take you like 30 minutes to be on hold for that. So many physicians overestimate their revenue early on. And not only with that, but so many times, I mean, it's like the classic tale of old time is that someone tries to sell you a shiny laser for your primary care practice or urgent care practice that you can now do microneedling to help with all the pitting from acne. Could you? Hell yeah, you could. However, you've got to brand yourself as aesthetics. You got to bring the clientele in. You got to market the hell out of it. it can be successful, but it's not going to be just printing you money like they say it is. And you don't believe me? Go online to Facebook. There's aesthetically inclined physicians for sale or whatever it's called, where they're selling all of these like devices. And those devices go for about $150,000, and there are tons of them on sale for like 10 grand. They're worth almost nothing because they have tons of consumables and you have to get it recertified many times before the company that makes that laser will let you use that laser. So then you got to pay that manufacturer another 50 grand to recertify it. They're worth essentially nothing. The second you sign up for them, they just plummet from 150 grand to like maybe $20,000. They're not worth anything. Again, overestimating the revenue. You're thinking, all I got to see is 3 patients a week. The salesman told me 3 of these a week and I'm going to make 10 grand a month. Hell yeah. No, you're not. Okay, yes, maybe, but they're not talking about marketing costs. You got to have an advocate in your office that is like believing in this like device 100% that's going to sell the hell out of it for you. You're overestimating the. I mean, look, I'll be honest. I did it myself. There's this bioidentical hormones that we started doing, and man, everyone was like, salesman, a saleswoman, were like, you're going to make so much money doing this bioidentical stuff, and it's going to be an amazing benefit for your clients. Well, yeah, okay. I was like, okay, $350. Amazing. That's $350 that I could do for the injection. Well, guess what? This company that set it all up, they take $210 out of that. Okay, that's cool. Then I got to buy the kit to do it. That's another like $40 to do it. Okay, now we're up to about $100 in max profit. Well, wait a minute. I need to pay my own like lidocaine. I need to pay the MA salary to be there with me. I need other sterilization things to make everything clean. That's probably another like $15. So now when it's all said and done, then you got credit card processing fees, another what, 15, 16, $20, depending on your credit card processing fees for that amount of money. Now all of a sudden, that like potential $350, I was like, holy crap, bioidentical hormones, I maybe make in my profit before I even pay rent or malpractice or anything else. I'm making like $70 off of that. Horrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And then the last mistake that a lot of you guys make is building for like scalability and growth before you have your foundation ready. If you don't have your standard operating procedures like just locked down, if you don't have your front desk like tightly on the, how do you check in? How do you check the subscriber information? How are the billers working behind the back? How is your hiring and firing of all of your like ancillary staff, your medical assistants, phlebotomy? Are you doing that in-house? What do you do if someone passes out and breaks their chin bone or something like that? You need all of these things, or most of them, figured out, tidied up before you can even think about expanding. You know, I consulted with one of you guys that decided to open up 3 med spas when one of them was possible. So you try to go from 1 to 3. And I mean, things just like it worked when it was 1 because it was you. And then when it tried to go to second and third, what a disaster. There were no standard operating procedures. And then didn't know about the bonus protocol. And then what happens if somebody accidentally like screws up one of the consumables with the laser? There's so many things that like you're just going to make your life a living hell if you don't have your standard operating procedures and procedures down before you think of expand. Now that we have almost 5 locations, yes, almost 7 years in, I have 5 locations. However, I didn't get to location, 2 until year number 4, or no, almost year number 5. It took me a long time to build the standard operating procedures. Now, part of that is the pandemic. The pandemic screwed everything up, including my growth and my foundation. But once I did get my foundation, grow the hell out of it. Once you get your foundation, grow the hell out of it. But ask yourself, if you're still spending most of your day putting out fires for your main office, is it really time to expand? If you're barely even profitable and booked out only 2 days in the future, is it really time to expand and bring on another provider? You know, you think about that, you're going to bring on another provider, you're going to pay them, let's say, $140,000 a year. Then you got bonuses, you got PTO, you got healthcare, you got 401k, you got a medical assistant for them. You're going to need another virtual assistant to help with the phones. You're going to need another license for your EMR. That $140,000 is going to turn to $240,000 to support them. Then the next thing you know, like I've consulted with some of you guys, is that you're going to be wondering, I haven't taken home any money in 4 months. I thought this primary care was supposed to make me a lot of money, give me freedom back. The hard truth is that it expanded too quick. Now, you can remedy that, but you got to throw more money at the problem. You've got to advertise like crazy. Like right now, today, we spend between $30,000 and $40,000 a month on advertising. Those are the 3 big things when I consult with you guys, that mistakes are made all the time, and mistakes that I've even made. Bringing that bioidentical hormone in, what a waste of time for everyone involved, including myself. Patients loved it, and we continue it for those patients that love it. But does it make money? Hell no. I make more money doing a quick telemedicine visit. It's not worth my time. If you guys enjoyed today's video and you want me to consult with you, I'll leave a link below. I've helped now over 600 people start or scale their medical practice. Thank you guys for following along. See y'all in the next one.